Hi, congratulations. My name is Chinenye Wadileke. I am an Education USA advisor with the United States Consulate General, Lagos. I know that the month of April usually brings a sigh of relief to many students and parents around the world that have been awaiting their admissions decisions. Now, if you've been admitted, I'll say congratulations once again. But we all know that that email that says admitted is often not the end of the road for many students. For some students, they have been admitted without the amount of financial aid that they need to be able to attend the institution. And the question often is, should I appeal the financial aid offer I've been given? And if so, how? My answer is a definite yes. You want to appeal that offer, especially if you need more money to be able to attend the college. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to appeal your financial aid offer. The first thing you want to do is to review the school's policy, any prevailing practices or procedures that they have in place for financial aid. You want to ask yourself when you do this review, which you can always find information on their website, is there a maximum amount that is being given, and did you receive that maximum amount? For example, if a school gives a maximum of $20,000, no matter what you do, the maximum everyone gets is $20,000, and they have given you $20,000 already, it might be a tall order asking for more. But if all they've given you is 15, then you could probably ask or appeal that they give you a little bit more. The school's aid policy, is it need-based or merit-based? Need-based, okay, you can appeal for more. Merit-based, sometimes you may be if you merit a little extra. You also want to ask, is the school need-blind or need-sensitive? If it's a need-blind institution that pledges to meet 100% of your demonstrated need, then you can, there's some wiggle room for you to appeal for more financial aid. However, if it's a need-sensitive or need-aware institution that has taken into cognizance the financial aid documentation that you already submitted, then that might have been a factor in how much they gave you, and you may not be able to appeal for more. One other thing you want to think about is you want to break down the school's comprehensive annual cost. How much is going to tuition, going to fees, going to room, going to boarding? And how much of this amount is going to be billed to your parents or to your sponsor? How much of this money is, when you convert it, how much is it going to translate to in your local currency? Some schools give you the option to pay, using a monthly payment plan or a quarterly payment plan. You want to definitely do the math right now and ask yourself if you had to break it down every month, is it still, such a burden to pay or come up with? So that's something that you need to work on before you even write that letter of appeal. The third thing you want to do is to analyze the financial aid package that they have already sent to you. How much of it is in the form of grants? Grants are monies that you don't have to pay back. How much of it are in the form of loans? Loans are is funding that you have to pay back. How much of it is in the form of work study? Okay, many institutions can't increase the amount of loans that they have to offer or the work study hours that you can work. However, they can only increase your grant. So if you have received very little in grant money and a lot of loans and work study, you may be able to appeal your financial aid offer. Another thing you want to think about is you want to definitely review your original financial aid application. Were all the forms complete and documented? What has changed since then? Okay, maybe when you were applying, your parents were both working and earning a full-time salary. Maybe one of your parents has started working part-time or no longer works because maybe they've retired or resigned for whatever reason. That's a significant change, okay, that could affect how much you pay. What can your family realistically afford? Maybe when you were applying, your parents told you that all that they could pay was $20,000. So you want to go back to them and ask, this school has left us with a balance of 35. That's an extra 15,000. Is there any wiggle room at all in the original amount you can give? Can you do a little bit more? That's a conversation you need to have with your parents or your sponsors. Have you also searched for other sources of funding? Schools like to see that you are not just placing the entire burden on them, but that you are trying your very best to explore alternatives. So I encourage you to look for other sources of funding and maybe show the school that you were indeed able to come up with a bit more money. Now, the key word is that you want to show proof when you're asking for a reevaluation. Show them, don't just tell them that you need extra funding. Show them that it's a need. You need to document it, okay? And I'm going to show you exactly how to document it so that you stand a stronger chance of getting additional financial aid. You want to document any change in your family's finances since you applied. For example, if there was a currency devaluation in your country, and as a result, the cost of everything has gone high. The value of the money that you thought you had, you no longer have that same value. It has been devalued. If there's a newspaper article to that effect, clip that article or find the link to that article and add that to your letter of appeal. If there's been a reduction in your parents' income, like I mentioned earlier, someone stopped working, or there's been an increase in your family expenses. Maybe an extended family member now lives with you, grandma or grandpa, maybe their health took, a turn for the worse and they have to move in with your family, and now your parents are responsible for your grandparents. That's less money in their pocket, and that's proof that your family can't afford what you said you could afford initially. You want to document any medical emergencies that your family is incurring right now, any expenses that they are making that they were previously not making when you submitted your financial aid application. Add these links or documents as attachments to the email that you're sending when you're sending the letter of appeal. Okay, if there has been no change, just reinforce what you stated in your original financial aid application. If you have extra documents that show that your family's income and expenditure are really what you said they were, then definitely add those. But they must be extra documents, not the same ones you submitted before. Another thing you want to do is, if you have been able to secure additional funding, document this, showing what you can now pay. For example, if you've gotten a written commitment from an aunt or an uncle showing that he or she can contribute an additional maybe $5,000 a year, or maybe you've received an additional scholarship from a religious or community organization, send the school proof. They might be able to meet you midway. Maybe this additional funding doesn't cover the whole thing, but the school sees that you're making a huge effort and you've been able to bridge the gap. And they might be able to come up with the rest for you because they see that you're really interested in attending their institution. If the school offers merit scholarships and your merit has increased, you want to show that you now qualify for more. And let me tell you what merit is. Sometimes schools will give you funding based on things that you have done, okay? Maybe your excellent grades or your excellent standardized test scores, or you've done, something, you've accomplished something awesome in your community or in your extracurricular activities. For example, if you took the SAT and you improved your scores significantly, and by significant, I'm talking about 100 points or more, you want to send that institution proof that your scores went up. If your grades went up from the last term you applied to now, maybe you were getting C's and B's, and now you're getting A's and just a few sprinkles of B's. That's an improvement. You want to send them proof of your transcript. Okay, if you won awards for leadership or service, you've set a new record in sports or in a certain area, send evidence. Send evidence to show that you merit additional financial aid. And this is only for schools that give merit aid funding. Okay. Now, when you are composing that letter, you must compose the letter of appeal to be excellently well. How do you start? You want to start by showing appreciation. You want to be very appreciative. Thank them for the funding they've already given to you. And then you want to go into facts, okay? You want to be factual. Show them you're informed about their school's policy. You've done your homework. You also want to be realistic and objective. If a school can meet you halfway. It's better than, asking them to take the entire burden, especially when it's a school that cannot meet 100 or does not meet 100% of a student's demonstrated need. So be objective and realistic about what they can can realistically add to your funding. Okay, when you're writing, you want to be mature and respectful and unemotional. By unemotional, I mean don't beg, don't sound desperate. Don't sound like this is the end of the world for you if it doesn't happen. There is absolutely no need to do that. You want to keep a positive tone. Show them that you're working towards it and you're doing all that you can to attend their institution. Be assertive in what you want. Don't sound hesitant, okay? Be assertive. By that I mean, if you need $10,000, tell them exactly that. If you give me this extra $10,000, I will accept your admission offer in a heartbeat, and I will enroll and I will show up on campus. And I will be the best student you ever had from XYZ country. Okay? When you're done drafting that letter, you want to ask your advisor to review that letter for you for, to catch any errors or typos or inconsistencies. That's very important. Okay. Now, who are you addressing that letter to? The same person who signed the financial aid offer award letter should get that same letter, okay? If they've signed their name at the bottom, then when you're writing the letter, you should include their name. Make it personal. Don't make it generic. Don't say their financial aid officer when it was Chris Brown that signed off, okay? So you want to use the person's name at the bottom or at the beginning of your email. If it was the international admissions officer, you could also copy them or send it to them directly as well. Depending on who sent you that letter, you should be addressing your appeal letter to that same person. Now, the final thing you want to do is, whilst you're waiting, you might need to fill out some required forms and return, okay? When you ask a school to take another look at your financial aid and maybe give you additional funding, they may not be able to get back to you until May 1 or after May 1 when others have accepted their offers. Then that's when they might be able to know how much more they have left and how much more they can give. So in the meantime, you probably want to accept the offer, but if you're not comfortable doing so, you can write and say you're accepting this offer contingent on them being able to bridge the financial gap for you. Or if you're not comfortable doing that, you can ask for an extension. Ask them to give you a few more weeks to make up your mind before accepting the offer. You definitely don't want to miss any deadlines. Okay, there are other forms they could ask you to fill, like a financial aid agreement form or a certification of finances showing that you have the resources to pay. Now, if you know that you cannot come up with that money, there is no need to promise what you cannot fulfill. Don't sign those documents because they are going to be legally binding documents once you submit them, all right? So definitely don't sign anything that you cannot meet, okay? And one final tip for you, you have absolutely nothing to lose when you ask. So write that letter, appeal your financial aid offer. The worst thing they can say to you is no. But guess what? What if they say yes? Okay, they will never rescind your admission because you asked for more money. But you'd never know if they could give you more unless you asked. I've worked with several students that have received additional financial aid and are doing amazingly well at the institutions that offered them. In fact, a couple of them have graduated. So no, don't hesitate to write that letter and believe that you can get it. When you do get it, because I'm a big believer in, things like this, we want you to contact us and let us know. We're available via email or via social media. So our handles are right there on the screen. I encourage you to write it down, contact us, let us know how you did, and we will be able to share with you information on your next steps, which is applying for your student visa and preparing for departure. I wish you the very best, and I would love to hear your success stories when you do start attending those dream schools of yours. Thank you for listening.